What the fuck is this piece of shit?
That's pretty accurate.
Yep. I
Joe
put that
Pesci,
together
perfect.
in like seconds. That was a slight edit, but we kind of needed it, I felt. We kind of needed this mood. Well, welcome everybody to this live installment to the Heterochrome Media Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts tonight, Redoubt Productions. One of my co-hosts is doing weird stuff with his tongue. Anyways.
Yeah, boy.
We got the ultimate Kahuna with us. We got BillyBobSac. And we got the Lord Otter.
Hello, hello.
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 Say it even more gay, Otter. Come on.
Oh, hello.
Hello, yes.
Excellent.
Yes, queen.
Yes.
All right, let's jump head first into this fucking pile of shit.
What a fucking piece of shit. Holy
Work
fuck.
it, girl.
I am
Okay.
never reading this book again.
Okay,
Not once, not ever again.
Are we wanting to start with a non-spoiler or just wanting to jump right into it? Fuck it.
Non-spoiler. Let's just do it.
Okay.
Well, I
guess
was
we're
going to
trying
say
keep it
jump right
informative.
into how bad this book is.
We'll have
All right.
plenty of time.
Otter, non-spoiler thoughts.
It's a bad book, but not the worst I've ever read. There's a few that are much worse. And that is not a compliment.
We'll get to do a comparison between this and Fourth Wing. Read that.
Oh, God. Something
Read
tells
out.
me that. What? Yes.
Your thoughts.
So, to quote what I said earlier in the private chat today, I had a surprising reaction to how much I enjoyed the original Hunger Games. I had a surprising reaction to how much I found Catching Fire to be convoluted. I had no surprise in my reaction to Mockingjay. It is as bad as I remember last reading it 10 years ago.
Pretty much all of them had the kind of the same thoughts I had on him back when I read him a long time ago. The only difference is I'm more experienced on reading other shit, so I don't really like first person present tense.
That it's something I dislike as well. It's more of a personal thing, more than anything
It's not
else.
really a criticism. It's just
It can be
personal
done
preference.
well, but it takes a much. I don't know. First, it's not to everybody's taste, but it can be done well.
For me,
Right.
it's like there's got to be a specific story or setting reason for it to really work for me, and this doesn't really justify it all that much.
I've also stated this in private as well, but I think part of why we dislike that style of writing to the degree that we do is because so many bad, like young adult, new adult novels have been written in that exact style, like first person
Yeah.
present tense, and so we have a bit of a bitter taste in our mouth just by association.
I think there's some aspect of it where it feels like the author is talking down to you when they're writing in that style. I always get that impression. Maybe it's not that. I don't know. But that's always kind of like a feeling I get through first person present tense.
Well, Otter, to be fair, the author is probably taller than you. No, I'm just messing with you.
I am pretty short.
I mean, like everyone's taller.
I
than
love
him,
you, man. I love you.
Well, I am short. I'm a
He's
water
like
weasel, for God's
2'5",
sake.
you know.
Topping out at 14 inches. Oh, your height. Never mind.
Here,
Yeah.
hold on
Christian.
while I throw rocks at you.
Your thoughts, Christian?
on.
Non-spoiler.
What a flaming piece of shit to end this trilogy on. Holy fuck. It's not the worst book ever written, but I've never seen a series that was like walking up the hill like this, kind of going flattening out and looking down, and then diving off a cliff. That's what this trilogy fucking was. Like it started off way better than I remember it being. Truth be told, I was surprised how good the first book was. I was a little surprised about some of the things I disliked about the second book. Third book was exactly as I remembered it. Anyway, go ahead and read it. You guys tell me what you think.
So pretty much my thoughts is like the first one's pretty much how I remembered it. Like I enjoyed it. Like I said, not a big fan of the first person present tense. There were things that annoyed me that didn't annoy me back then, like the fucking like regurgitated flashbacks. They're just shoved halfway through chapters. That take about half the chapter. This one is boring. Nothing happens.
Read out. Can you send me the link for the stream so I can share it on Twix real quick?
Oh, yeah, hold on.
Private chat or something.
Now, I also have a question for everybody then. What half of the book is worse. The first half or the second half?
Oh, dude.
Second half.
I think the second half is actually worse, which is it was less boring, but way worse. It was a weird thing.
Do you prefer seeing like a loved one slowly die, or do you prefer seeing just an explosive train wreck? That is basically your choices here.
I mean,
that analogy I
like
know.
trains, so how do you think I'm going to respond?
Here's the thing: the second half, well, technically, let's not even call it the second half. It's really the first 2/3 and then the last third of the fucking book, because it's not really half and half.
Yeah,
that's true.
Dude.
This was broken in thirds.
Yeah,
in thirds.
Well, all of them have
FIRDS.
Well, in the last,
you're on my
part,
channel. I'm Yinzer. I can't speak.
We're finally gonna get like action or some shit, or like cool battle scenes, something. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I wanted this entire book to be
guys.
Like,
we got to speak very kindly. We're about to be graced by a queen.
Oh my god,
my queen.
All right,
actually, I think I have that impression.
Hail the queen of the Iron Age.
All right, Snow.
Oh my god.
Snow.
Your thoughts?
Yeah.
The way you said that, though, it's like, oh no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to grace you. Thank you so much for letting me come on and just absorb the essence of everybody here. Let's look at all your little faces. Just want to squeeze y'all. Look at
squeak.
I know you're so cute. Oh, and so yeah.
Snow, what's your non-spoiler thoughts on this book?
What is my non what?
Non-spoiler. Like no details of why. Just
it's like a psyop.
That was the best insult you could have given. Worse than what I said.
It's a psyop.
It literally is. It is. It leads you down one path through the first two books, and takes you in a place where it became popular to do this. It was during the war, and I can tell you that because I had a child in the Iraq theater, and all of a sudden it was not cool to fight for anything anymore. It wasn't, there was no reason. There's nothing. It'll do no good. Nobody should ever fight back against something because it's just going to lead to absolute ruin. And I get really tired of that take because that's just sort of, that's black pilling everyone. There's never a good ending. There's never a good outcome. You'd be better off if you just never
tremendous
did
pills, all black.
Yeah. Literally,
they're called Nightlock.
It was absolutely. If I wanted to read, if I wanted to read Elric of Melbourne, I would have done it. If I wanted to read Word of the White Wolf, I would have gone there. I don't need to be like
RH. The difference is that's very well written, and this is written.
I was okay.
Certainly was.
I will say this: I was actually okay with the premise. The first two books was that you were fighting against something, and yes, things are complex, and they're always. Yeah. There's always something complex about war. You never have something that's cut and dried, just always good. There's always casualties, and there's always collateral damage, and there's ethical gray areas. That's part of that whole process. But to say simply that it didn't do any good, nobody was ever helped, and it just destroyed everything, and you're left with just being full of PTSD. I really couldn't find a good. I mean, maybe I missed something in that part of it, but it just seemed like it just spiraled downward, like, oh, don't bother, well, then why read about it? Wait, like, it's an interesting
well that's our non-spoiler.
Yeah, we're gonna stop the non-spoiler and we're gonna go straight into fucking spoilers
because we're all kind of universal in our opinions, it seems.
Yeah. And let me say this: I don't really have a problem with the way it's written because I understood kind of the style that they were going for. I felt. And this is just me, and I know somebody will probably say the same thing about me, so I'm thinking of it from an author's viewpoint. I felt like somebody got to her and said, you really shouldn't be saying these things. It really felt like that when I read this because I was interested in this because and let me say this guardedly, that I am a person that sometimes is interested in things that can be considered to be subversive. I'm that sort of person, and y'all don't think of me that way, but I am.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah,
no chance. Your book would not lead me to believe that. No.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Our non-spoiler discussion is over. Fuck it. Leave if you don't on this old ass book. Anyways, let's jump right into it. First of all, nothing happens in this book.
Whoa! Spoilers.
We
Bro.
spent 2 books getting to a rebellion in which we're not involved at fucking all in the rebellion. We know nothing of what's going on.
Until we are involved, and it's actually worse when we are involved.
Yeah.
BillyBobSac, do you like propaganda?
Oh
Like,
my
do you
God.
really like
Wait,
propaganda?
Otter, there's no propaganda in this book. They're propos, remember?
Propos.
Yeah, Redoubt, you know
Oh
where I
my
was going.
God.
Yeah,
thank
read the
God
tag.
y'all
I'm a
bringing that
propo
up.
water weasel. I'm part of this movement now.
Hey, Suzanne
Yes, you are.
Collins,
Propos.
stop with these really fucking cringy in-universe names for propaganda or whatever. You know, they're shooting promos.
If you're
is what
going to
they're
give
doing.
if you're going to give something very common and ordinary in our world a weird name in your story, you need a good reason for that to be the case. There's no reason to use something besides the word propaganda.
Just say promo. Promos.
This
That's what
is
they're
my
shooting.
big problem with the book. It felt like this book, like the last 2 books, it felt more justified with there being sort of like this reality TV show aspect to it.
Yeah.
But this one needed to feel real. Like it needed to actually deal with the reality.
Hold up, Otter. You told
Instead
me you
of
didn't like
focusing
the.
so much on filming.
Hold up.
Snap
You
back
didn't
to
like
reality.
the.
Whoop, the girl's crap.
You didn't like the battle between B-Tree on his computer versus the Capitol computer on the television.
I was riveted. They kept on yelling, "Hack the planet!"
It was one of those.
Time.
It was one of those hack battles where it's from someone who clearly hasn't dealt with computers in that much depth.
And
It's like having a bad chess scene in a book. Like in a book, if it's not well done, a chess scene is very. It's bad.
Oh,
bad.
I'm going to bring this up as well. We start the first chapter with Katniss at District 12 and half of its flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 5 chapters later, we return there again.
To do the same thing.
To do the same thing, but they're shooting promos.
Uh-huh.
Why? Why couldn't we do this at once?
I can say she's probably trying to avoid the exposition dump, which
But it happens at the first chapter.
Also,
And it kind of happens at that chapter as
this
well.
book also comes across as highly expository.
Well,
You
that's
are
it.
told
More so than the others, yeah.
yeah, and
We're told we don't experience anything. We're told.
Let her
what's
talk,
happening
Billy.
on
Calm
everything.
down.
No. We're
Hey, go
told
ahead.
everything.
I think for me, it's me was reading and listen. Okay, so we talked about this before. I found out that a lot of the people who don't like watching the Damned Chancy Texas are people that don't like Warhammer or don't like BattleTech. So you start to have people that love lore and they love things like that, and they take a lot of time telling you about it. Especially that's what The Hobbit is, nothing but like 900 pages of exposition getting ready for Lord of the Rings. So, or not maybe not really, but that's a lot of the complaints about the first half of, for instance, of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, is that basically it's just setting up the scene, setting up the world, but he does it in such a great manner that it makes it easy
And he has such. Oh no.
to do
She's
that.
back.
Oh,
Also,
confused.
Snow. Tolkien has a very unique prose and has a very interesting way of using language in general,
here's
and
the
so
thing.
that makes
He
it
also-
a lot more.
Yeah.
worth
Tolkien's
reading.
also his lore is fun to fucking read about and learn.
I mean, I'm not
yeah.
going to say the Silmarillion is the most stimulating read out there, but
It is. I love it.
All right, just like I'll say it.
this is what I'll add on to it. Tolkien is also really funny with his writing. He knows how to be humorous, and that also applies to the beginning of Lord of the Rings. That's part of what makes a lot of this setup for what eventually becomes the story of Lord of the Rings to be a lot more impactful. It's
For anyone, has anyone ever said he's not funny? Read the opening lines of The Hobbit.
Oh yeah.
It was a hobbit hole, not a stinky wet hole like one of those other. Like, what are you talking about?
Is this a good morning or a morning to be good on?
Or it's like, or are you wishing me to have a good morning, or are you simply stating that it is a good morning,
But
or are you
Otter,
simply
are you-
saying it?
Otter, are
So
you
the goblin
saying
was
that
beheaded,
Mockingjay-
his head falling into a hole. The battle was won, and the game of golf invented in the same day.
Nah.
Are you saying that Mockingjay did not have any humor when PETA got rescued and then
It's
Oh,
it's unintentional
Peter!
humor.
Peter!
There was
She
one
had
moment.
her arms stretched out, and I love the fucking line.
My love, and he's
Find it.
just
I
like,
posted it on our thing. I'm gonna read it
Read it.
I'm gonna read these last few lines. Hold up, let me find it. It's
So bad.
it's actually some of the funniest shit ever, and it's unintentional funny. Nope, that's where she gets shot.
That's also funny.
Funniest
There's
stuff.
multiple times she gets shot in this too. It's not a one-time thing.
Now, there's a line. She's like, and that's when I saw myself get shot on live television.
So
Really.
here's what happens in this scene. I don't have the second half, but basically she sees PETA and she gets really excited, and then she's like, "Oh, PETA must be really excited to see her," because he jumps up and gets away from the doctors and is running towards her. And she's like, I run to meet him, my arms extended to embrace him. His hands are reaching for me reaching for me to caress my face. Oh, that fucking froze. She thinks he's trying to caress her face. Then her lips are trying to form his names when his finger locks around her throat. The next fucking chapter opens up with her tugging on her collar.
Oh my
Take a
god.
shot every time Katniss is put under. Every
Oh,
time
in this
she
book,
falls
she
unconscious.
spends a lot of time in the hospital.
Yeah.
More than any other
Yeah.
book.
Also, did you guys follow how many cafeteria scenes there are in this book? There
No,
are
District
so many
13 is just
cafeteria
one
scenes.
big cafeteria. It's the back rooms of high school cafeterias. That's how District 13 was created. True
District
story.
13 feels like a prison school in a lot of ways.
Also, I think they're even worse than the Capitol politically in some ways.
In some ways,
do not
yes.
I do not like Gale at all.
No.
He's barely in the two, and he's not really tolerable in the first two books. In this one, he's fucking worse.
Well, it's like he's in flashback in the first two books more than he's actually on page
Yeah.
present. But then in the third book, you get him, and I hate him.
Dude,
he's
he is that friend. He is that friend that y'all be talking about something random, and he just brings up fucking politics and goes spurging about it. Like hardcore spurging about it and shit. That is Gale's character in this
I
book.
think he needs to honestly have that pat the kitty or whatever, save the cat moment, sort of where he does have something like that. And it needs to be injected more because he comes on as such a hardcore. And I mean, I've known people like that, but if you're going to make him where he's genuinely unlikable, if you're aiming for being genuinely unlikable, you need to give us a sort of a reason that, well, this character needs to be unlikable because that's who he is, but he still has purpose. But if he's just there and he's just unlikable and he just messes things up, it's you kind of have to know why. Is he there to make PETA look more attractive?
Well, he doesn't need to do that because PETA is already the GOAT in all three of these books.
We've been simping for PETA, and this book also fucking blows her, shoots us right in the damn dick. Because we don't get PETA like the vast majority of this book.
The problem with
and
Gale
he is still
is
one of the best characters. He is on one hand, he is the ultimate GOAT. On the other hand, he is the worst simp I've seen in a book in a while.
the problem with Gale is that he's supposed to be this last component to a love triangle. The problem is with a love triangle, you want to make all of the characters redeemable or likable in some way.
You have to feel torn between the triangle.
Gale doesn't have that.
No, well, no, I will argue on one point for him. He is capable, and he is intelligent.
Now compare
Now
that
he's
to PETA.
now he's an asshole, and he causes a lot more problems than he solves. But
Hold up, what is he capable about?
his planning and strategy, his overall tactics. He
can shoot a plane out of the sky with a bow, with Katniss?
No. I'm talking about like towards the end of the book, he comes up with trying to think like the Capitol. He's trying to figure out their traps before they encounter them.
He made a
Things
bomb
of
that
that
explodes twice.
Yeah, he literally committing war crimes, weapons.
So I would say that if we were wanting to see him that way in a more sympathetic light, we should see him early, maybe earlier with that sort of that gift, so that way he shows why he's in the book. Because I think maybe she was headed for that, and it feels almost like it got edited, maybe out where they were trying.
She becomes a whore.
I know.
When literally she gets choked out by PETA and she's really sad. But then she goes to eventually PETA gets enough recovery that he can talk to her, and he's like a complete dick to her, and just honestly, it's the most cathartic.
It's the first time he's ever truly honest with her, I think, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also at the same point where he's completely brainwashed.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she immediately after that, she's like, fuck PETA, fuck his feelings. He's not only been, I don't know, tortured
Yeah,
Yo, Bad
brutally
Sauce, welcome to the stream, brother.
that's
and
all.
brainwashed. and
That's
everything.
us.
Yeah, also, guys, check out Bat Sauce's channel. He does. They're not as edited in a style I would do, but I like his videos. He has some good shit to say.
Right.
Snow, I had a question, just from the
Yes.
more female perspective. Have you ever known someone quite like Katniss, who's ever like just
Yes.
forced to go through a lot of bad? Or like, is there an element of realism to the way her character is portrayed in the story?
To a certain extent, actually, I didn't mind Katniss's character because I've known people like her, and especially women that have been in combat. Okay, my family, I have 2 women that have served directly in combat, and this is historical, not just a later generation, but an earlier generation of my family. Actually, my grandmother in World War II, believe it or not. And so she was one of the first women actually in the Army Air Corps. Women that go through combat in situations like that frequently do sort of lock down their emotion a little bit more. I've known other women who have been in a
But
situation.
she's been like that before this.
Yeah, she's like that before that. But then again, she's living in a very poverty-stricken world. I didn't really have as much of a problem with her. Yes, she feels very mercenary. I wanted to see her grow as a character to where she cares about more than just her family, because she's so, and I've known people like that.
Everything that she does is about survival. That is a theme, like throughout. It's very clear, even from the very first book.
Yes, and
like there's nothing that's more paramount than that
Oh,
until she has to sacrifice
well,
herself.
we can actually segue into the other conversation towards the end of the book, where they're hiding out in a furry's underground basement,
and it's still focusing on. It's still. This is the climax of the series, mind you, and we are focusing on furries, food, love triangles, watching TV, and washing the dishes.
No comment, but his tail was straight.
Yeah, during this conversation, Gale and Peter are talking because Katniss is sleeping, and she's listening on, and basically the conversation boils down to who she's gonna pick, and then Gale decides to say, "Oh, she'll pick whoever she thinks she can't survive without."
Yeah, really.
And they're both just like, and then she's like offended because the other guy did not immediately defend her on that.
No, PETA didn't defend her at all. She's mad because Gale said it, and then PETA didn't refute it
at all. Yeah.
Now that part is probably the most realistic part of it. Now, I'll say this: there is a place where it would have made a difference for me if this led to something besides just utter emotional destruction. If her survival and there was not I think I hear it. There's not a payoff. There's not a payoff.
There's no payoff at all in this book.
That's the problem. I don't really have a problem with a clipped writing style. I was forced to read Hemingway over and over again. I think she sort of eases towards that type of writing, and
I could sense that. Yeah.
Yes, she spends a lot of time. It feels a lot to me like, and this is not a critique. This feels a lot to me like, dang it, Hemingway's son. What is it? Old Man and the Sea, and others of that grouping that he does. The Sun Also Rises. Because it doesn't have a payoff. It's just a story about people struggling. And I understand that, but where The Sun Also Rises was dealing with very real aspects of World War I and of injury, male injury, and dealing with that. It's just almost like a flip of that. You have a female protagonist, but there's no payoff. The promise that there might be a payoff in the first 2 books ends without a payoff.
One of those is it's a bit more of a real take on kind of like to my knowledge, the history of World War II. The other is a sci-fi YA novel.
Yeah. Oh, now history is actually Sun Also Rises is actually about World War I.
The Great War.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's true.
And in it, the protagonist is actually has a castration. He actually steps on a mine or something. What happens? His injury is that. And he has to deal with the fact that he is romantically inclined and involved with this woman, but she goes with this other man. And there's this big triangle that she picks who she can have a physical relationship with, but she actually loves this guy who had been injured in the war, which was not an uncommon injury. And
I have something to say in regards to how this book should have ended. There's three ways this could have gone. She could have leaned into the war aspect and made it more realistic and better written.
Yeah.
And made it make sense. And this ending that she has might have made more sense and been okay. Or she, in lieu of that, she has two options. She could have given a nice happy ending, something worth it at the end of the fight, or made it a real tragedy, not this halfway thing that she kind of did at the end of this book.
Wow. Yeah, I think maybe you're right about that. I feel like she's holding back on the story she actually would have written. And let me say this from a perspective of having read it at the time it was released, and I read it as an adult because my kids were reading at school. And so I have this book that I'm reading, and I looked at it and I was like, this feels almost like it felt like a more subversive novel. At the time it was released, there were a lot of people who were comparing things that were happening to what was happening in District 13. And then 2015, suddenly there's this change in tone in that last book. Like, oh, no, we really don't mean this. Nobody should really fight back. Nobody should really do this. It's all going to be worthless. Just don't do it. And so
your side's just as bad as the side you're fighting against.
Yes, everybody's just as bad.
What's the point?
That's the part that feels like a psyop. And I know that there are reasons for people writing that, and it can be very compelling. But in this case, it felt like it felt like she literally turned the story away from what it might have been. And that's just because I want a certain thing, perhaps. I'm a kind of person that feels like, yeah, there are things worth fighting for. And you go through a hard time and you lose people, you still try anyway.
Do you think that this might have been changed a lot in editorial? It might have been the publisher stepping in.
I think 100% there's an element of that. Because weren't all three of these books written? But I believe all three were written before they ever filmed the first film.
Yes.
No, correct. Mockingjay is actually 2010. The original Hunger Games is 2008. They came out in 3 consecutive years to 8 to 10.
Yes.
And if you want to get political, this would have been the first book would have came out at the tail end of the Bush administration. The other two came out in the first term of Barack Obama.
Yeah, well, now 2000, you had 2008. So suddenly it changes about revolution isn't necessary. We don't need this anymore. And it feels like you're going in a direction where you're saying there are things that people would have a revolution about.
So you're saying that Coin is Barack Obama.
It's really hard to say on this one. Or no, actually, I would say it would be that nobody needs to fight for anything else. It just all of a sudden.
No, Coin is more like Michelle.
You mean Michael?
Actually, Coin would.
I kind of disagree with you a bit on that.
I would say that if you're looking at it from a and we're talking about actual propagandist looking at the book, and we've had this happen where the publishers were actually taking money directly from administrations. So we're going to be honest about that. So when you have that situation and they say, well, look, you're encouraging people to go out and fight back because that was okay when it was during the Bush administration. It's okay to have resistance when that person is there. But I don't want you encouraging somebody to have a resistance, in quotes, when I'm in office. And so that can happen. And so you have not
once, really. Not ever. No way.
And so it could be that she planned it all out that way and she was really wanting this big turn and it was going to finish that way. But for a lot of people reading this book, you have this book that's very compelling about having a revolution and going out and fighting, and there's a propagandist element to it, but there's also these other things. And then suddenly at the end, this was not worth it. It's not worth it to do anything.
But this book wasn't modified at all in post. The person standing beside me says so.
Where are we saying that it changed its message? Because all it did was just show that Coin was actually the only bad one.
Yeah.
Wait. Can we talk about how dying, like barely alive, like pill popping Katniss at the end of the book?
Yes.
Basically bumps into Snow at random with only 2 guards.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Well, no, I think she requests to go and see.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She's drunk. She's hot, out of her mind. Like a look. Yeah,
she's kind of aimlessly
think of Eminem in any early 2000 interview. That's her mental state at this point. She's stumbling around and then accidentally finds 2 guards. I think they think he's going in here to off him, and they're just like,
Yeah.
All right, let her go.
Well,
I-
not specifically the one from the rebel leader from District 8 lets her in there.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that Katniss just stumbled into this scene?
Hi, man. What are you doing? I'm drinking wine and eating cheese and catching some rays, you know.
For the different perspective.
Pretty much, yeah.
Also,
Like,
Haymitch
oh,
is
here's
barely
the
in
shot.
this book, by the way.
Yeah,
One
Well,
of
he-
the best characters.
He's even
not
more.
a-
Yeah.
I
barely
like how he
even
ends
a
the book as he began the series.
drunk.
Yes, he
Drunk.
goes from being
Oh,
not
so
an
nice.
alcoholic, then back to being an alcoholic immediately, and then we get a one of the most anticlimactic reveals of why he's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Oh, remember that thing we watched in the second book of how he managed to win the Hunger Games? Well, Snow killed his family and his lover and shit.
Also,
Wow.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have this like earlier in the book and this to be a big moment to bring Haymitch and fucking Katniss back together?
Yeah. And that's the only reason I'm giving it the grace to say maybe it was edited prior to release.
I think it was a last minute decision. It's like, oh, we need more for him, but then he also kind of gets ignored at the end of the book. Like they offer a little bit of explanation for things that happen. Hey,
I will say
not
this
a
about
peep.
the tone. This book ends on the most black pill ending that you can think of where the story was going. I will actually give props to
Yes.
the makers of the Mockingjay movies. All the beats are effectively the same plot lines, but they do end on a slightly more hopeful note. They isolate the issue with being just President Coin and not being the whole rebellion. They're more like, no, she's the problem. Everybody's gonna be in uproar for a few years, but you probably did the right thing, Katniss.
Redoubt.
Just lay low.
Redoubt.
Oh,
It
What?
also builds her up as a fucking twist villain.
Well, that's true too.
This one, it kind of just happens.
Yeah. In the move, what I'll say is the movies, they have the opposite kind of trajectory of the book. The happy middle ground for the books and movies in the best of best is number 2. The second movie and the second book. But the films, they were getting the filming quality was getting better each movie as it progressed. Unfortunately, the best film production was for the worst book of the series. In
Which
2
you decided
parts.
to split into 2 parts, no less, because
Thank you, Harry Potter.
did it. It's
Well,
literally the only-
in Harry Potter, it made sense. There was way too much that happened in that 7th book that
Oh,
was
no, I
not
just
boring
mentioned
at the
Harry
ending,
Potter.
Billy
Here we go.
Bob. And yeah, it made sense to split into 2 parts, but it started that weird trend of all these other franchises splitting movies up into multiple parts.
Do I sense the Harry Potter fight coming along?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something that's going to just going to make you not love me anymore in your podcast. I have never read Harry Potter. Never.
All right, Snow, I don't blame you. It's all right. Don't listen to Billy Bob about Harry Potter. All right, Snow, I'll explain this.
All of the action, every book, every one of the action, like the big giant, like climactic moment, just fucking.
It's boring. Nothing happens. It's bad. Bill, shut up, Billy.
I like magic.
It's about the same quality as Mockingjay.
I'm gonna disagree there, Billy Bob.
Boy, you don't understand.
Hold up, my internet came back on. So
Hey, so Snow. It's not a perfect series, but there's a reason Harry Potter took over the world.
Yeah.
No! Oh, good. She's still here. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm here.
And as a child, I read this entire series start to finish no less than 8 times.
Yeah.
Through the entire thing.
People love it. And
It was very, very good.
I
think even as an adult, you would find it charming. Alas.
Here's the thing: like every one of the book's conclusion, or not the conclusion, but the big moment of each book is like rushed. It's so fucking bad.
It's so bad. I don't. Oh, sorry.
Look, he's even leaking through his titties, guys.
No, everybody has different takes on books. If you enjoy them enough that you actually feel like talking, that's the whole point of Mockingjay. Everybody was so into it, or into the series, that when you had that letdown kind of at the end, a lot of people felt that way about it. But it's still a series that managed to really grip people's imagination. And the same thing with Harry Potter. We've all got a take on it. We've all got, because as authors, we want to say, oh, here's where I think it went wrong or right. And I take that with a grain of salt too. If somebody's out there listening and they love Mockingjay, they feel like it was greatest because they needed that at that point.
Well,
Me, where I
everyone
wasn't-
has sometimes like retarded opinions.
Yeah, well, for instance, me, where
Billy,
I,
you know all about retarded opinions, don't you?
yeah, me, where I was. in my
You're just
life,
upset. I'll fight you over it. Yeah.
me
I
where
like magic.
Me, where I was.
Also, the big thing that's missing in this book that I've already mentioned. Read out. Get ready. We're missing Pitaya. Play the clip, bitch.
I don't. You didn't send me that one.
Yes, I did.
When?
I
Send
sent
me
it
the.
to you a while ago.
Also, while they're figuring out
me
Billy's
the-
weird gay video,
What?
no, I agree, and it's interesting because both of these series greatly affected the book industry and publishing industry in years to come. Like Hunger Games affected the first book in my favorite series of all time.
Yeah.
He's denied this, but other people who were involved said, yeah, they wanted him to make the first book of this series more like Hunger Games, and so he did.
Who was that?
Pierce Brown with Red Rising. Very dark
Oh.
series, but it's my favorite series in all fiction.
Oh, God,
Yeah,
I thought you
well,
were
so-
gonna say Pierce
And well,
Brown.
this is what I was going to say is I read the books as an adult with a child in the military, with a person in the military.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes a whole different take where you're out here, you're fighting for something, and then it just means nothing. So I had a
Yeah.
visceral reaction to this. That literally, are you trying to like tell people that this was nothing? And we've seen this with our guys and gals that have PTSD, where they're like, it meant nothing. It was worth nothing. We've already had this message just shoved down our throat so much. The individuals that were affected, yes, horrible things happened, but there were also individuals who tasted something that was when a woman took off her burqa in Afghanistan, it meant something. That time and that place where somebody was able to go to school and they didn't have to be afraid. It meant something. Even if the whole ending doesn't turn out right, there's still places where you say, I made a difference here. I made a difference there. And to hear, oh, nothing means anything and you shouldn't even try it. And that was the feeling I had, but it's a different feeling than someone else might have had who's reading it as a young person going, oh, wait a minute, war might be actually bad. It's not just all great. And it is terrible.
It's not without cost, and to say that it's for nothing is pretty... It's a pretty awful thing. Whether it's true or not, it's a pretty awful thing to insinuate.
And so we have then the same thing with Harry Potter. One of the reasons I didn't read it actually is because my kids, my son was reading it at the time, loved it, loved Harry Potter. I thought it was great that he but because my life, I was actually acting as basically I was helping with the fire department and filling in almost any way that I had to. And my husband was gone a lot. So that meant I was driving the trucks. So I didn't have a chance to read it when he was reading. And I don't have cable because I'm one of those people. And so I just never saw the movies. And we had cable for a little while my mom was alive. So I was with all of that going on, and my mother was in the house and she was on hospice. So I missed that part where I was like just able to sit down and just read during that period. I read Hunger Games because it's fast, but I didn't want to jump into the middle with Harry Potter. And so it's probably something I'm going to go back and read, but there you have that same problem that all of us have, where it's how much real estate do you have in your brain and what are you willing to give it to? And when you do give yourself to a series, or you give it, that's when you have these really strong emotions about, oh, I thought this was going to happen. And then I feel like I went 3 books into it and then I didn't get what I wanted. That creates that visceral feeling. And that's why great books or great series, people that they're very popular, that's why they affect people so much, because people invest themselves in it. And then if something doesn't, even that little thing doesn't turn out right, we all have this big opinion on it because we gave ourselves a year and a half, 3 years to reading books.
Well, also, I want to play that clip real quick.
Yeah.
He's jonesing for it.
Yeah, you have to understand, this is on a completely unrelated note.
Pita.
Yes. The one thing that's missing from this book, mostly.
Peter. Oh, not this.
Pataya, Aunt Moon. Oh, Pataya, sweet Pataya. Oh, there. Pataya, there. That's where you belong.
Pita.
Make me a baby, Pataya, she screamed. Make me another sweet little baby, oh, Pataya, my precious Pataya.
What?
That's Roy Detrice reading A Song of Ice and Fire. He's an old man. He's only a few years away from death at the point of reading that part of the book. Yeah. And he fully committed.
Yes, it is like peak.
Oh, Roy Detrice, what a legend.
But
it's beautiful.
We didn't have PETA in this book. Oh, and I need to bring up world building.
Oh,
dude,
shit,
boy.
I'm stupid. Not only do
careful,
we not
man. I'm
really
gonna go
care
off
about
on this
war,
in this on this fucking.
but
Oh no!
we also get some more details. Some details that even I forgot about, which actually makes it even more fucking retarded.
What?
So before in the dark days in the first
Oh, wow.
rebellion,
Yeah,
13
Herman, you
in the
Herman, you
capital
mentioned that
came
when
to a
in our
ceasefire
interview.
because 13 had fucking nuclear missiles, by the way, and they
Yeah.
still have them. But also the capital has
They
fucking nuclear
had
missiles.
hovercraft, but no solar energy.
They have nuclear.
Fuck!
Hold up, they have nuclear weapons, but they don't know how to use nuclear reactors.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
So, one of the stupidest things I've ever read in a fucking book happens in this fucking book. You cannot shoot a fucking bomber out of the fucking sky with a bow and arrow! I don't care! What a stupid fucking thing that... Look, read my fucking tagline!
What are
Holy
you talking
shit!
about? They're like geese, but they.
But what
fly
if you
faster.
could? What if you could?
Hey guys, we have hovercraft. They seem to be very advanced. It'd be a shame if we didn't fly them high enough that you could barely see them and drop them down onto the top. No! Let's fly them slow! Loot orbit! Okay, so...
Hold
Yep,
up,
I'm
and
fine.
also, this is a legitimate line. Katniss says, "Oh, they fly faster than geese."
She's like, I trained my shot a little bit further ahead this time.
Oh,
Shot down a fucking fighter jet with a goddamn...
yeah, Katniss gets new armor, which actually
Fuck!
comes into play.
I think
But she
Stormcrow's
also
speaking
gets a
for all
new
of us.
bow that means
Yeah.
dick.
Oh,
She
guys,
gets a new
forgive me.
bow.
This is like Otter and Billy have heard me off stream talk about this. It's so fucking retarded. Okay, sorry,
Okay,
Snow.
well,
I don't.
will say this,
I try not to swear in front of
No, no,
women and respectful people like you. But
I
This
will
is
say
not even the angriest I've been reading a book. So yeah,
That's again.
Now, I will say this because I did a lot of research. This is not about the bow and arrow. The bow and arrow, you can't do it unless there's like a lucky god shot where you actually hit it just right off something. I have an aircraft that's taken down with a rifle with a what's called the hail of bullets, and it was done in Vietnam. And you
I know.
you could shoot with a rifle if you hit it just right. You'd actually get in where the wiring was, or you hit up into the underneath the belt.
All right, Snow. We're
Yes.
not discussing like it's not impossible if they
Yeah.
hit it that they can destroy it because it was
No,
explosive.
yeah, I know,
arrows.
I agree. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
problem
literally.
is why are they flying that low and slow enough for them to
Exactly.
be able to hit with a fucking arrow? Not a
Yeah.
gun.
flying faster than a goose.
They fly faster. That's the thing is why are they flying that?
That's
Well, that's
pretty
the
fast.
problem. Is that when you go that slow and that low, you're going to
As
crash.
fast as an unladen swallow. African or European?
That's right. No, that's the thing. And so that's it. Like I said, there's a precedent for saying, oh, you can shoot down an aircraft with a handgun. But when you're talking about a bow and arrow with a bomber type thing, you literally have a situation where it's called you have to keep your airspeed lest the earth arise and smite thee. Unless you're
Rambo couldn't have made that fucking shot.
I know.
Oh,
But
But you have
Gale
to-
and Katniss could. That's
If
the
they were-
important moment.
If
well,
Not
she
just
is.
Katniss,
She is the
poked
first
out
woman.
Katniss.
She is the first woman. So
yes, Queen.
yes, go off, Queen. Yes.
no,
You're
I
just
do-
as
Shoot
good as
down
all the
those
other
jet
soldiers.
planes.
that's
Oh,
that's
and
actually
after
where
they do
Gale's
that,
airspeed gets her.
We get the before
Oh, the
that there's
speech.
the hospital scene in which she's going around talking to all the wounded people that are going to die, and then that's the bombers attacking that, and then well they don't even try to save the wounded people; they just die.
Also, her speech is bad.
Well,
Yes,
It's
it's not just that. It's how the chapter ends off. It is her giving that cringy speech because she does not know how to talk with people unless she's put under pressure. And then at the very end, the very final line is "cut, that's a wrap," right after a war crime had been committed.
Yes. Well, by the way, right.
I like when
outside
she
that
gets shot
women-
after her second speech later in the book, because that's how I felt during the first one.
Hold
Oh
up.
dear.
Women, children, and men are fucking burning and suffocating to death in that.
Also,
It's a
oh yeah,
wrap.
also nothing they can do apparently.
yes, nothing.
It's a
All
wrap.
right, Snow, is that how that works? The building collapses. No way to help those people at all.
No, it is in this case. Okay, let's talk about it from this perspective. Even when you're in a war situation, if you're there, you're on scene. If you're not injured, you should be doing rescue at some level. You should be doing something. You should be running in. That's
Well,
just life.
this is the
That-
rebels, and they're just as retarded as the Capitol.
Well, that's
The
the that's
Capitol,
what I'm saying.
by the way, the Capitol fucking killed. Only 800 people survived District 12 because they nuked the entire.
Yeah.
Not nuked, but you know what I mean. They wiped it
they didn't even finish the job. 800 people made it out. How? Pardon me. How?
because Gale got up and he was like, "Man, something's going on."
Guys, if
And
we
he
hide
managed
800
to-
people in a bush, and I trap a couple of squirrels, we'll make it.
Well, wait,
yeah,
per
how
their
did he
numbers,
feed them,
isn't
by
that
the
like
way? None of them know how to hunt.
1/10 of the population?
Yeah, it's exactly
Yes.
1/10 of the population. They used math to figure this out. Just like the 8,000 people to provide enough coal to power the entire fucking country.
Hold
Also,
up, hold
remember that District 13 covers like 12 states, but it's just one underground facility. Remember that.
And remember, they don't have any fucking solar. All right.
Oh, but they have hydro. See, hydro.
Hydroelectric.
Why
but-
do we have coal and hydro?
Wait, also that. We have the technology to genetically modify already living organisms. But no fucking solar.
Hold up.
Does
We can
anyone
do
you guys
that.
does anyone know how hard it is to genetically modify anything on any level?
Why didn't we get cockroach protein bars?
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't
No,
the
I don't
Capitol
want
make
those.
cockroach protein bars to feed the population? Because here's the thing.
Ew.
No,
You don't
Billy,
wanna
they
give them
probably
luxury, I get that.
either the Capitol or District 13 were probably doing that.
Here's
They
a
just
more
didn't talk
basic
about it.
question. Why is the population so sparse for each district? These are tiny populations.
Also,
Yes, after 75
why
years.
was District
75
12
years.
provider of coal not allowed to use coal? They had to use freaking whale oil as their fuel source.
Why
Why?
did fucking the Capitol blow up
I like
District
whales.
12? Like all of it.
I like
Now,
whales.
now, Yins are failing to see this very obvious,
Oh.
rational explanation that the hedge has provided us. It makes sense. He could have just gone into the forest and made all that bread.
Yeah, but he was captured by the Capitol.
Yeah, he
because
wasn't there.
for
PETA
some
wasn't there,
reason-
Herman. That's the problem.
Well,
We
you
also
see,
get the best
this-
explanation. Coin
Billy-
literally said we should have got PETA instead of Katniss for our first
Yeah.
promo.
That's true. That's
And it
Now,
was
I-
Plutarch, the fucking retarded games maker. Plutarch is the one who wanted
What?
to.
What did I do wrong?
Why are we looking at that? Who is that? What am I looking at there?
Might
Let's
as well be Plutarch.
Might
It's
as well.
Philip
What?
Seymour Hoffman in Twister, and Philip Seymour
Oh,
Hoffman also
okay.
played Plutarch in the
Really?
Hunger Games movies. Yes, it was one of, if not, I think it was his last on-screen performance.
Yeah.
Tragic.
either
Anyways.
that or the next to last one. Didn't he do dang it, that really depressing one that was about like Oklahoma or something?
Herman, you know you're spelling PETA's name wrong, by the way.
Kita.
Kita.
Not endorsed by PETA.
Wait. How do you spell PETA's name?
P-E-E-T-A.
Hey.
Oh, I forgot there were two E's.
Yeah. Right, right.
Oh, you ain't a simp of PETA, you fucker. You
I
blind
haven't
bastard.
read the physical books in a while. For this reread, I listened to them for the first time. That's what I
Oh.
did. That's why.
Oh, you listen to Katniss go on and on about.
Okay, hold up. Hold the phone. They had this Indian woman doing the narration, and she was a very good narrator. I will give her that. She did a very good job on the voices. Okay, moving on. Books are shit.
Okay.
No, Herman, it's wrong.
Okay.
go
This is the
find
one
who-
character you cannot
because-
misspell his name. I'm
Stop
sorry.
flaming, Kay.
Stop
Yeah,
blaming.
Stop flaming.
He's the chosen one.
Otherwise,
He's the chosen
you
one.
are a
Should've
prep.
He should have been the
Leading
chosen
rebellion.
one. If he would have been the chosen one, they rescued him. You know what? You wouldn't have had a lot of these freaking problems.
Wait, let me do my Herman.
Katniss, you are the chosen one.
Actually,
You
it's
have
a
to be mocked today.
B-E-T-A. You guys are spelling it wrong. Get off my fucking
Oh.
lawn.
Also, Katniss's sister and Gale almost got blown up because of the fucking cat.
Cat.
That was that
Yeah.
was one of the dumbest parts of the book. I was screaming at my book whenever I got to that part. I'm like,
Hey.
she's potentially risking the entire district over a cat.
Now, I will say
I
this.
would do that though. I'm saying.
Here's
I
what
would,
RH, I know you would do that. And
I
it's
would do
Here's
okay.
that
what I'm
for
gonna
just the
say.
cat.
Ripley did go back into the Nostromo to rescue Jonesy.
Yeah,
Now-
for a cat.
that
what
was
a
just
what a-
Ripley.
There's
That
no
was
cat
just
worth
Ripley.
that.
I was about to add that part, but the difference is it was Ripley. and nobody else.
Yeah, it was
Here we
just
have
Ripley.
Katniss and the fate of the entire country.
Herman, why do you bring up that book? Why?
What?
Oh God.
Did we cover the closet scene yet?
Not
That's
yet.
at the end of the fucking book. It's like one of the last
The
chapters.
fourth wing.
We've kind of hyped it up. So we're gonna have to talk.
Yeah,
about it
we're gonna have to
eventually.
have that.
We'll do fourth wing on my channel. It's
Well,
gonna be-
I mean,
no,
before
we're
we
talking
get
about
to
the
that, we
closet
have
scene. We've hyped
Katniss'
it.
sister gets
the
blown up.
closets. Yeah. Oh wait, also can we talk about how all the best characters are either ignored at the end of the book or dead by the end of the story?
Yeah.
We also mentioned that like
Yeah.
every character, like small character in Katniss's life, we just get a reveal like, oh, they're dead.
They're dead.
Those two, that
You fought for
daughter and
nothing.
mother from the second book, yeah, they never made it to District 13.
Also,
Yeah,
F in the chat for Finnick.
Oh yeah,
And,
Finnick.
Finnick and the sister. They both died.
The
Friend's
sister
death
friend.
just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's
Yeah,
like all of a
Finnick,
sudden she's there and she's dead.
It's like then I saw her shirt untucked in the back, and I knew it was her. Bam!
It was a duck
Gone.
tail, and she tried to say my name before it blew off, and it was actually
Also,
Gell's
Finnick,
blonde.
the cry, sobbing, and creating knots dude for like 4 months. Yeah, we're gonna make him a soldier. Why would they let any of these people be soldiers?
Because
I
they
wanna
actually,
point
hold up,
out-
to be fair, they're actually not supposed to be soldiers. They're just there.
That's
for promos,
true.
Yeah.
for bullshit.
I think
And then go
No,
ahead,
but
go ahead, Snow.
Oh,
I really do think that when they're trying to do this, and you're telling it a story from a perspective that you really, and I understand that she had military, background. You have to live in a house with people with PTSD to understand what it means. You have to understand what it does to people. And if you don't have that experience, then it's hard to describe it. And maybe she's been familiar with that, but it felt slightly off to me because it does. You're putting these people in a certain place. And I think maybe there just wasn't enough experience. Since I had experience with that, since my dad had PTSD from World War II, and he was literally till the day he died, like I said, had it bad enough that it was every night we'd wake up. You could hear him crying when he woke up. So I lived with this all my life. So it has a different effect on me. I'm kind of like the same thing you're thinking of. The people that you love the best in this book are all destroyed, and everything you were fighting for isn't worth it. The characters that you sympathize with the most are gone, and you're left with a why even bother doing it? And so you say the payoff is not there. And when you take it that additional weight of why were they putting them through this and then making them into soldiers? Why were they picking the ones that were the least likely to be successful? Part of it's because they took their best characters and took them out of the picture. It's kind of like, I know you like this guy, so we're going to remove this person.
Also, Suzanne Collins, I will give her credit for something.
Yeah.
No way.
She didn't say democracy when she's
Yeah.
referring to their new government. She did
I
correctly
will
call it.
say
I
I
mean,
will
also-
say that to her credit.
Yeah.
They mentioned a republic specifically.
Also, have you guys
Not just
noticed
some
in other
nebulous
books,
democracy.
a lot of other books that came out around this time when they would talk about making a new democratic government, they
Yeah.
would spell democracy wrong. Have anyone else noticed that? Just me? All right.
Well, I'll say
democracy.
this: there is a sci-fi YA series where we're following a bunch of kids who are going through a deadly battle school, learning how to behave properly in the art of war. That book's name is Ender's
I
Game.
just was about to say it. Ender's Game.
Yeah, and for me, Ender's Game, like
also
if
Red
you're
Rising,
looking
the
for a
first one.
type of YA fiction that fits that sort of bill, I recommend Ender's Game over Hunger Games.
Also, the
Casey.
original Hunger Games Battle Royale, released
Mm-hmm.
in the 1980s Japan. It was really a really good book, actually. If you
to be
can
fair,
ignore like the middle schoolers doing some of these things. aspects of
Orson
it.
Scott Card in Ender's Game, and this is and this was supposed to be sort of a counterpoint to that. I think Hunger Games and the series is sort of a counterpoint to that. Ender's Game is actually recommended reading for officers training school. I believe it's for the Marines. And one of the reasons why is because it very adequately goes over this process of and the people that fall along the way and the people that can't make it. And they go through this whole process. So there's that things that work in that subject matter. That's great. I think in her case, she is sort of taking it from a civilian side. She sees it that way. It for me, my biggest gripe was just literally that I felt like I didn't get the payoff, and so and other people might feel great about it. They feel like it turned on a dime and this was all cool. But you're right. It feels like maybe some things got edited out that we needed, and or that we were looking for, and it left it with just the scenes that were designed to drive towards this ending of just there is no good ending.
You know what?
Left us with blue balls in all directions. I agree.
I'm gonna ask you
well, here's the thing. One last aside while we're comparing this to Ender's Game. Ender's Game actually kind of ends on a similar note, but it's bittersweet at the very end because it slowly turns towards hopeful at the very, very end. It is him going through that process of PTSD before he's eventually wandering the stars, finding a new reason to live.
Yeah.
But there's hope there. There's not hope at the end of this book. It's just like it's gray it's like the weather here in Washington.
Well, we don't even find out what happened.
No feeling.
We don't even know what the new government looks like. We get none of that. It just
I don't think at this point it matters. The world building is so bad in this book. I'm grateful we don't get more.
But we're
of it.
talking about even if it was a good world building and everything, and that you still got the ending, you'd still be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Why?
But I got a question for y'all. At the end of Catching Fire, what were you expecting in Mockingjay? Redoubt.
Well, you mean I guess I'll have to talk about the first time I ever read. I guess I was hoping to see some fun, some pretty big climactic battles. The Capitol pushing back hard. I wasn't really expecting any spec ops just because I didn't think it would be that feasible.
I thought we might get that, but I thought it would just be them escaping the Capitol, not actually fighting back and winning.
I was expecting there to be a lot more guerrilla style warfare or something like that.
Hurry, Snow.
I think that was it. Yeah, actually, I was expecting it to us to. I actually expected PETA and Katniss and her group to move more in the direction of, I guess, spy. I was actually looking for spycraft. I was looking for that kind of part where maybe there was some night ops because they had been in the Hunger Games. They'd been training for combat. And how do you train and lead other groups? Because guerrilla warfare is a thing.
I was actually hoping to find out that Katniss is actually pregnant the whole time.
Yeah, it would be like, well, yeah.
You just blanked out that they fucked on the Terrence before the quarter quail.
Yeah, I know that. Whoops. Yeah. So
there's an ultrasound scene, and the first thing that comes out of her mouth is "pita."
We're making her sound like the birds from Finding Nemo.
Well, this book is named after a bird.
Also, Herman brings up a good point. I'm pretty sure the new government built coal-fired nuclear reactors with solar panels.
Yes.
Now, that part, yes.
But here's the thing. The reason why I'm asking this question is this third book gives you none of what you were expecting. What you would expect from going off the second book. What you were promised.
Also, Stormcrow, I'm going to bring up this. If you're saying democracy, like, all hail, long live the Emperor, man, are you talking pre-Horus Heresy or post-Horus Heresy? That's two very different realities there.
Post-Horror Heresy. Yeah.
What
post-Horror Heresy?
Yeah.
Horror Heresy.
That's right. Because he's
these prostitutes, they be rebelling.
Dude, he had fucking what, like 9, 10 children? He's a fucking whore.
No, he had like 20 children, bro. Actually, possibly like more like 21, but it was a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So much so that there was an actual fucking rebellion.
He wasn't the greatest dad, so to say. Like the more you read into it, like there's one of his sons is born with almost like unfathomable access to the warp, and he on an individual level explains to him what it is. He's like, there's this magical realm out there where we can draw power, and there are dark gods. You're not allowed to do that or talk about it.
Yeah.
Also, on the
sucks to suck.
Yeah. Also on the Mockingjay, when we got to the after they decide they're gonna try to assassinate Snow, like they're getting out of the fucking basement.
What a stupid fucking.
And then they immediately get split up because the rebels are pushing in. And then I'm actually lost to what the fuck was going on. Like their traps are going off now. Like with
the traps have been there for 75 years.
Yes.
Who controlled them? Why were they made? what would keep your average citizen from setting them off?
Hold up. We actually do get explanation.
It's a dumb explanation.
It's killing their own citizens.
But they still left them there for 75 years. And also, they turned it on in the middle of their citizens fleeing.
Also, one of their traps activated like 15 other traps. Didn't see that coming. Anyway.
Yes, they put a fucking black goo toxic wave.
Oh, freaks take edge.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Donald Sutherland just smiling.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
It was in the rose. It was the rose, Katniss. The rose.
That don't make no sense.
Makes perfect sense, boy.
We thought he was the toad.
Children at the end, and even the children. It's not even a happy moment. It's literally, oh, they're playing over a fucking graveyard, and there's worse games to play. Some shit. That's the final line.
Yeah.
Also, trading fur underwear for food. Just
wait, what?
I don't know. Oh, you don't remember that? At the end, their Lord Otter's book crush in this story was she was trading her fur-lined underwear for food.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Well, she's trading it with other
losers
for some reason because it's during like winterish.
Do you want some fur underwear? I made it myself.
That sort of sounds wrong.
Made it with my
Would you
own
like
fur.
to get in my basement?
Otter's
No.
Otter sitting here was like, tell me the site.
Yes, he bakes a cake, by the way. That's how he gets therapy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I forgot.
Who would have thought?
A big reveal during Finnick.
A bakery.
And,
the one-stop shop for therapy. A bakery.
Yes.
Well, I can't really argue with that one because I love cake.
That's fair.
Eating a cake.
Here's a question for everyone. What was your all's favorite scene of the book?
I showed it. Where Katniss gets fucking choked out.
That was also actually no. When she got shot, that was my favorite scene.
Which one? Pick one.
Pick one.
Okay, if we're memeing, the time she got shot, she's watched herself get shot on live.
No. Here's the reason why the choking one's so fucking hilarious. For one, it's how her character's viewing the scene. Two, it also is vastly improved in the movie because it's just as funny as you think it is. Watching J-Law get fucking choked the fuck out.
I will say this as my legitimate favorite scene in the book. It has to be the wedding between Finnick and why am I blanking on her name?
Anna.
Alice.
Anna. No, it's not Alice. It's Anna.
It's not Anna.
Yeah, it's
not.
It's Annie, I think, actually.
It's Annie or Anne.
Who the fuck cares? This bitch was mentioned.
It's Annie.
It matters, Billy Bob. Anna's the name of my
we don't even get to really see her reaction that much. She has no reaction that Finnick, her fucking husband that she just married, is dead now.
She's just kind of like, my husband's dead now. I'm gonna grieve for him, but yeah, you do what you want.
She wasted away shortly after that.
Which is like that. Their whole like marriage scene, that was like one of the few scenes where I was like, I actually felt something. I was like, this is actually a nice scene.
Yes, because we like Finnick. Finnick is an interesting character that's not going to become a sociopath.
He's a good character. That his confession scene is one of the best genuine scenes in the entire story.
You know what? I'll give my favorite, my actual real favorite scene when Peeta and Gale are discussing Katniss. Why?
It's so real. Bro, I've had this conversation. I've talked with with a boyfriend my wife started dating after we were married.
Oh, dude,
wife's boyfriend?
I had that conversation with that guy after she got him thrown in jail. But so I've lived this exact scene pretty much.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's the best scene because it seems like Suzanne Collins the most self-aware about Katniss in the book.
I'll give her this. I think she knew exactly who Katniss was. I don't think I don't like Katniss, but I understand. I think the Katniss was always acted in character. I don't believe people would have reacted to her the way that people did. but the character always acted how I imagined she would.
But you also seeing, like, in my opinion, the first scene of like, oh, like she's actually writing the characters viewing Katniss as she is, instead of the typical she's so hot, great, better.
Oh yeah,
than Joanna.
Well, or what during the first book or movie, she just like, oh, all the guys loved her. It's like, no,
that gets repeated.
I don't
in
think
this
so.
One.
Yeah, they taught everyone's like, yeah, she was so hot in high school. Wait, what?
It's like everyone wanted to bang you, but they were scared of you. Not bullshitting. That's literally in this book.
Yeah.
Also, Sword and Starships. Garrett, thanks for joining us, brother.
Hey, brother.
The Hunger Games film was a half measure. It lacked the courage to do the full distance of the premise, unlike Battle. Yeah, no, the first movie for Hunger Games, they censored the crap out of it. Like I said, the films get better, the books get worse.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I think here's the reason why: don't ever split book 3 into fucking 2 parts.
No, there are times when you should. I disagree.
This was not one of them.
But this is not one of them. I do agree.
Yeah, like, I mean, here's the thing: I don't hate the movies either. When I say that, I don't hate them. It's just
hate them.
I agree with.
I like changes. I like in the movies that they made Coin much more of a villain from the get-go.
Oh, obviously a villain. Like no doubt. In the book, it's like, oh well, people are vouching for her, and she makes these gestures that seem very nice, and then like there are signs, but in the movie, it's very clear.
The book it's pointed out, but there's no like actual conflict or confrontation with Coin. In the movie, there is, and also the movie adds a detail that I actually think was very nice, which is President Coin suspending the elections. That's not in the book.
Yeah,
in the movie.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Also, I like that Effie was actually in the fucking story.
She was.
Effie is not even there
almost the entire book.
She just shows up at the end.
And honestly, Effie, the character in the books, I enjoy, and the actress who played her did a great job. Like, great character overall.
Here's the thing: like, anytime the story mentioned Fulvia, at first, I don't know why. I always thought they were talking about Effie. Then once I realized that, I'm like, wait, where's Effie in this story?
Oh, you're talking about the character that's literally only there until after the promo, like, shot the first.
Yes, why can't that be Effie? It would be almost like it's bridging a story gap with a side character that a lot of people like.
The movie.
Also, wait.
Introduced her back.
We're forgetting. How did they get her prep team? How?
Oh, they broke her out at the night of the thing, but they couldn't get Effie, and then somehow couldn't get PETA during the arena.
How? We're in there. They're like, we have double agents. Should we go to PETA? Hell no.
I just
matter of fact, this book actually mentions that they should have told Katniss about the rebellion and breaking her out and shit.
You don't
because how stupid it was.
Oh, bro!
It's like if you told him,
I'm gonna like look like Sokka in that one episode of Avatar where he's slapping his forehead. Holy shit!
I don't want to alarm
the entire episode.
He may be the Avatar.
I think that kid might be the Avatar. Wait. There we go.
Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
We do a better break.
Oh wait! I just remembered that line. And
So did the Avatar live action one for Netflix? Was it really bad?
We're not talking about that right now.
We're not talking about it.
No. That's
not
a whole other stream.
We don't have the time.
We're jumping from one atrocity to the other.
I have to mention this.
After this.
No, I have.
Anyways,
I don't have the lung capacity to express my hatred.
When we're in the sewers of the Capitol, that's basically them. Fennec should have just grabbed the guitar. Oh, I remember the rest of that song. And die.
The deaths were so stupid that she ran out of time or whatever. For some reason, this book had to only be 400 pages or whatever the fuck it
Herman
was.
brings up a good point. They couldn't get PETA as they already had a baker in the crew. Yep, nope. It's District 13. We only need what we need and nothing else. Remember when they had a meeting about whether they could keep the fucking cat?
Wow.
Well, no. Did they? No, they didn't have a meeting over that.
Yes, they did.
They did.
No, they didn't. Katniss specifically makes that as one of her requirements.
Yeah, but they still had an argument and a meeting discussion about it. It
There's-
was like I was
there's
on
a whole
Abomination
negotiation.
AJ's
They're
stream
actually
just
probably
the
gonna
other.
need this to kill some mice. It's fine.
I was on Abomination AJ's stream last night. We were out arguing about and telling racist jokes till 1 a.m. It was fun, but we watched a 12-minute cut, like super cut of the what was it? It was basically like a woke event. Like they rented out, like it was like WokeCon basically,
Oh,
and they had a vote about whether they could vote on something.
They had a vote that they can vote on.
Yes, they voted on whether they should vote on something. The entire meeting was useless.
I'm just gonna drink some more now.
No,
Anyways, back to the
read out.
series.
I'll send you. I'll see if I can find it. I'll say it was unbelievable. The super cuts 12 minutes long. I wanted to end it right there.
No, it's basically the type of stuff that comics like Dilbert make fun of. Oh, this is a meeting about meetings, a vote about votes.
Well, that sums up District 13 in a nutshell.
Yeah, the
meeting about
sewer
meetings.
scene could have been fucking cool, but it just ends, and also like half of the squad just gets wiped out during that.
Yeah, I wanted more of the sewer. I really did. I thought
Only 1,200.
Like the assistant to the camera chick, his death. I don't even know how it happened. Somehow the track activated and he got stuck in the beam and then melted.
Wait, can we talk about the camera crew in the advanced society with a giant like turtle shell rig that they had to walk around in with the advanced fucking. Anyway,
They also look like insects for some reason.
And she,
definitely. It would be a shame if they were really obvious fucking targets. Anyway, continue.
But anyways, go back to that one dude. He gets into a puddle. What's her name? The second in command to what's his name? The other dude. Actually Boggs. I like Boggs.
I liked him too. I liked the crew. You know, the actual fucking soldiers.
Well, I like the ones we actually knew. The other ones are kind of just red shirts. They just die.
They do. Actually, PETA kills one at least. And
oh yeah, he shoves him into the.
Why is he allowed to continue?
Wait, are you talking about why was PETA allowed in there?
Why I would have shot let me phrase this properly for you two.
Yeah.
I would have blasted his brains out with a pistol.
So the whole reason was Coin was sending there to hope to kill Katniss.
Oh, Coin, yeah, Coin was such
Here's the thing, though. She also sends in Prim just for her to be killed.
Yeah. Based off of Gale's plan. Hence, Gale being a piece of shit.
Based off of his plans of the bomb. He actually didn't plan that.
He didn't plan that part. He just planned the bomb.
Now, to be fair, it just so happened that her sister was sent there. It wasn't. No, take that back. Actually,
I think Coin did it on purpose.
Yeah, because she did give clearance to allow her to go on the actual battlefield
because she was too young and not fully trained. So she would have had. They would have had to allow it. And yeah, now what a piece of shit.
And then that's what happens with her and Gale when she's basically like, "Hey, Gale, it was your bomb, like Design who did it."
And he's like, "No, it was an accident. I had nothing to do with it. Not my plan."
No, it wasn't my bomb.
Trust me, it's
you
fine.
100% talk
He's
to
like, bro, I wasn't even there. I was off.
No, Eagle 4, don't bomb that target. It's only a random camera crew recording things for posterity. There's no way Katniss would be with them.
You mean the guy with the 3-foot rig surrounding his entire upper body? Yeah, let him go.
That's how they get, by the way, that is how they get attacked first. They're doing a promo, and then they're supposed to be play acting, setting off the trap.
Oh, yeah. And then
not promo,
dude,
propo.
And then Jocko gets freaking blasted.
It's a goddamn promo. Anyways, we get a scene where they're like laughing because one of the dudes is really bad actor.
Even worse than Katniss.
Yes.
Which they keep bringing up.
And then he immediately steps on a fucking trap. His legs explode. Poor Boggs.
He turned into Lieutenant Dan in 0.3 seconds.
Yes, and then he decides to tell Katniss, "Don't trust anybody." And,
Lieutenant Dan ice cream.
Also, Boggs gives her the tool she needs to go F everything up.
Yeah, a tool she needs that she doesn't know how to use.
He's like, I'm going to put the safety of my crew in a mission we are already winning. I'm going to give her the tools to get my entire squad killed.
Speaking
That's how
of
military
safety
people act,
tools,
isn't that right, Snow?
Say that again.
Oh, a squad leader is dying. He gives a mentally unstable, like 17-year-old girl the means to lead them all into certain death for no reason. That's how
Also,
a
a
military
device she
leader
doesn't know
acts.
how to use. She immediately gets
Her-
it, and she makes up
Yeah,
the lie, and the film crew backs her up, and then she literally goes to the second in command.
How do
Oh,
you
how
use
do
this
you
thing,
use
by the
this?
way?
I
Also,
really-
Snow, what were you saying?
Yeah, I really do think that that's part of the issue. They could have gotten away with this by saying, "Hey, she looks really good on camera. Let's introduce her to the," and that would have made sense. Somehow that you're going to bring in this character for the propo or popo or promo or whatever.
Promo. I'll just
But they
call
missed-
promo.
Yeah,
What it
they
is.
missed that opportunity to say, "Okay, we're making a stupid decision because we're doing a production," and instead you have somebody on a real. Yeah, you're sending in a 17-year-old when there are other people that clearly are probably a better choice. And so I think that was a missed opportunity there. They just should have done it as part of it.
It was
Wait.
propaganda because they were called what were they called? The Star Team or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It was a weird.
They're made up of all the previous, the remaining surviving tributes
Yeah.
from the Hunger Games.
Also, I just thought of something. Why? Remember how the whole thing was that Katniss had to lie and say her mission was to go in there because they weren't allowed to because of her safety?
Uh-huh.
Didn't Coin want her dead? And
Yes.
couldn't he allowed her to... What?
No, Boggs didn't want her to die. Boggs actually did not want
Boggs
Coin-
didn't,
Yeah,
but
Boggs-
Coin could have ordered them to let them go in and do this mission.
But to be
Because
fair, they
she
didn't
wanted her
know.
dead. She wanted her dead enough to send in PETA with a gun and risk her own people.
Well, Coin's not smart, dude. She literally bombed the children, and then
Yeah.
decided, "Oh, Katniss will never figure this out." Even
on
though
a
she knows
similar
about
note,
it.
remember Katniss's bow that's specially gifted to her, the one that's supposed to be alive in a sense?
Yes,
Yeah, that's never referred to again.
yeah, it's never used. It comes
It's
into
not-
play at none.
It's
Matter of
not
fact, there's
used
a
in the
function
final
to
battle.
Turn it
yeah.
off. There's a function to turn it off. Never used.
Wow.
Here's what I thought was going to happen. I thought there was going to be some sort of I don't know, instinctual connection between her and her bow. There would be kind of oh yeah, it corrects her aim just a little bit to make sure she's completely on target. That's
Well,
how she can do.
she never polished it every night like Legolas in Lord of the Rings. So.
Well,
Also, they have
there's
suicide pills.
nothing.
So they have purple suicide pills, by the way.
Oh,
Called
and they
Night
forgot
Law.
that. They forgot them. Would
No,
have been
they didn't
handy to
get 'em.
have.
Everything
up
they
later.
build is glorifying what Katniss does.
Also, Katniss failed to kill Gale because he got captured by the Peacemakers. And
Read
she was
out.
like, "Oops."
What is the worst piece of world building in this tragic, terrible book?
Oh God, where do I begin? I guess I can start with the whole. You know how they said that we got District 13's where all the nukes were made?
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
that. Apparently they also had the Capitol all this time. Also had they apparently had a whole second location.
Yes,
I think it
in
was
the
District
West.
2.
In the West, in District 2, they had another nuke. By the way, they still have it. Why didn't President Snow send the nukes at the fucking food
Also,
district?
it would be a shame if we had access to nuclear reactors and we still ran the country on whale oil and coal.
Yes.
And Hydra.
Kill me. They did not have access to any of these blueprints in the Capitol Pan Am about how all this stuff works.
We have nukes, no reactors.
Oh, and Gale is another war crime. He was one in District 2. That's how they
Yeah,
had to
he
take
buried-
District 2 before.
He buried the. Now, to be fair, I don't have a big problem with his idea there.
Hold up, he was
if
one
it
to
is
blow up the
real
tunnel
war,
where they couldn't
that's-
escape.
Well, yeah, if you're in war, I don't really have a problem with that, as long as you're not doing that to your own people.
Well, there's a time and a place where you go, I'm going to do this. There has to be an objective. If you have this happened during World War II, the bombing of Dresden was one. The firebombing of Dresden, firebombing of Tokyo.
Where remind me where Dresden was again?
Dresden is Germany. So you
Okay.
had this beautiful town, high civilian population. There was an objective there. They decided to go ahead and go forward with the bombing, even knowing there would be high collateral damage to civilians. There was a reason for going in and doing that. You make choices based on what is your objective and can you successfully do it and still maintain what your mission is. If your mission is to save democracy and your own people, you're trying to do whatever it is you can to keep that going. Americans typically try to, in our own minds at least, we say that we want to avoid war crimes. But yeah,
And then there was Japan. Well, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, well, I've got a whole different perspective on that because actually my dad would making the landing in Japan. In fact, my father landed in Japan. There would have been upwards of 2 million or 3 million casualties. That was revealed in a white paper after the war.
Well, the fighting in Okinawa was so bad that if they had invaded mainland, it would have been just a bloodbath for years.
There was no easy way out of that side of the war.
No.
Either way, it was going to be a bloodbath.
And they said that was not just. I mean, there was also expected to be upwards of at least 1 million to 2 million casualties on the Japanese side.
But here's the thing: I'm not saying that him collapsing an avalanche on the mountain and there. My problem is he's a fucking war criminal because he was also in the blow up the tunnel, meaning they all suffocate there.
Yeah, that is cruel, but in the context of us versus them, if you have to pick and you're trying to win a war as efficiently as possible, that makes a very sick sort of sense. Well, I think I disagree with doing it, but I do understand it.
They're both atrocities, but the reasoning for one is technically it's a higher body count in the short term, but in the long term it's saving lives theoretically.
Well, yeah, and we say about Gale, I think the problem is it's his attitude about it that bothers us the most. It's very casual for him. He does this thing. He doesn't see the
no. It's not casual. It's not casual. I disagree.
He is that half-mast when he's talking about this plan.
Yeah. He is literally spurting out going, ugh, yeah, fuck the Capitol.
Violence, yeah. Katniss Hero has my plan.
Yeah, Katniss, every time you're nice to a Capitol person, oh, you fucking bitch. You fucking bitch.
Imagine them just suffocating down there. She's like, didn't your dad die with my dad in the mine? Suffocating.
Yeah.
Katniss is like, well, not everybody from the Capitol is bad. Gale, well, actually, they are.
We gotta exterminate. We have to have Hunger Games of our own.
By the way, while we're talking about it, Coin calls them all after this, and Katniss is recovered and talked to Snow. And we were having a debate, and we wanted to get y'all's opinion on it, and make your vote. We want to take all we want to have a final Hunger Games, and we want to take all the prominent members of the Capitol leaders.
Actually, she doesn't say final. She just says having.
She says final. No. She says final specifically.
Can anyone else confirm that? I don't have a book in front of me.
Look, open it up. Literally, it says the final Hunger Games. It's a kind of a ceremonial.
I thought that before I re-listened to it. Upon re-listening, I thought they said they were going to restart it with just do it more like restart it basically with the 13 children.
No,
with the Capitol children.
No. It's literally just one final one.
The problem was
it's short-term vengeance.
Yeah, the problem was that NY Katniss and the people that oppose are like, yes, one time, and then you can just keep saying it over and over. Well, actually, maybe just one more time. Well, actually.
Well, Katniss even
we're actually having overpopulation problems.
Yeah, Katniss literally goes or thinking about it, is like, is this what it was like when the first rebellion was squashed?
That's what she was saying. I'm like, probably, man. Just as fucking stupid.
But anyway,
also, the next year they would have been like, with all this global warming from all the coal mining that we're doing, I think we need to have another Hunger Game for the.
With all this global warming, our solution is to just start killing each other selectively.
By the way, we don't.
According to group,
we don't even know if this Hunger Games never happened. By the way, at all.
It gives the impression it didn't happen.
But. We don't get anything on it.
It's not confirmed or denied. That's what I'll say. It does give the impression it didn't happen. Also doesn't. I'm trying to remember what
it might be the movies. By the way, is the one that changed it to being every year.
That's true. That's true. I might be mixing that up a little. Like, isn't the way that ending scene where she shoots coin, isn't that a little bit different than the book, than the movies? Like, from the book to the movies?
No, the movie builds it up. There's actually like stuff going on in the book. It happens.
I remember Donald Sutherland laughing maniacally as the crowd tears him apart.
No,
I don't
it
think
happens in the book.
It does happen in the book. Okay,
Yes.
I didn't remember or not. Yeah,
Literally, he's laughing, and then the crowd like jumps over and starts beating the shit out of him.
Like, he was dying already. He probably died very fast.
Oh yeah, that's where we get the reveal. Finnick actually finally comes out and does a promo outside of 13 after the bombing and shit on them.
Oh yeah.
And to where he's basically saying that
one of the best scenes in the book.
Yeah, where he's telling that he's telling all the secrets because by the way, the President Snow and them, if people want to fuck you, it's a tribute. Your ass is getting sold out. It's Gambino and Donovan from Berserk all over again.
It literally is. That's exactly what this is.
So,
yeah.
So in
and then Katniss is like, "Wow, I was a total bitch to him, wasn't I?"
Yeah, in the second book, we get hints of it, like when he's talking about, he gets secrets and shit. Well, it finally does come to play in this one, at least, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to reveal all the dirty secrets of all you fucks, and also I'm going to reveal all of President Snow's, which is, he kept poisoning people and then drinking antidotes, but it doesn't always work."
Yeah, and that's why he has roses, because he smells like crap.
The lesson of the day with the Hunger Games: do not sell yourself on sex appeal. It's a very bad idea.
Right.
Endgame, yes. If that's, for me, that's all I would have. So.
Matter of fact, that's actually a dark thing you think about, because 100% PETA and Katniss were going to get fucking raped.
100%.
Well, it's like Katniss speculates on what would have happened to her if time went on.
Well, PETA was in the Capitol for a while. Who's to say it didn't happen while he was there? I don't know.
We got to see the two redhead Avox, the mutes. He got to watch.
Can you pronounce that again for me, son? I just want to hear it. Avox. Okay, good.
Anyways, he gets to, because they have a stupid game where it's real or not real when he's asking stuff to figure
I actually liked that part, I'll be honest.
It was a good part of the story.
Yeah.
Well, the fucking final chapter ends on that.
Herman brings up a good point. They always defile the bakers first. We call it the baker's dirty dozen. No.
Yeah, they're gonna tell people stuck on this baguette.
Why do they go after the bakers? Well, there's cake, of course.
Oh.
They know how to knead that bread.
God. Oh my God.
So real quick,
let's stop here.
I want to bring up a little bit of praise for this part of, in regards to Finnick's backstory and how it's presented in this book. I hate to say it, but the idea that this would happen is not it's a very easy to believe idea, but from the female perspective, it's kind of what you would expect almost. From the male side, it's a fairly unrepresented in a lot of fiction, and so I did. In regards to Finnick being diddled by people for money in the Capitol.
Oh no, it makes sense.
It does, but I feel like the female version of that, side of that, is expected in this kind of story, and I'm surprised that that wasn't. I'm surprised that she chose the male perspective to talk about that from.
Wasn't Joanna also kind of in there? That may have happened to her as well.
I was about to ask.
It's implied.
Johanna is one of those characters where she also kind of got through the Hunger Games based on marketing her looks.
Yeah, she was cute and people underestimated her, and then she turned out to be my kind of woman. No, a freaking savage.
Oh, a heroin addict?
Whoa.
She becomes a heroin addict in this book.
Yeah, she's a morphine
addict.
My ex-wife was never that skinny.
Her first reintroduction to Mockingjay, she just shows she's in this same hospital room as Katniss. Like,
and she's stealing her dope. I forgot.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And then
Joanna is honest. It couldn't be my ex. All right.
So after Katniss gets shot and everything, and then we have the whole her and Joanna, and then we get a training segment towards the end of this fucking book.
It's a training arc.
We're gonna need a montage.
And Joanna fails.
Dun, 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 dun.
So Katniss is see, this is how they're able to get in shape and prepared to go to the Capitol and fight.
No, you can't heal your ribs. Do it.
Oh no! Yeah, she takes a special drug, like a Harry. Dude, she ripped off Harry Potter. Remember in the second book?
Where
he gets his bone,
where he's
bones
regrowing
get
his
weeded,
bones.
This is basically what. By the way, they have access to this, but they can't like synthesize food or anything.
No fucking solar. All right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so I do want to say, outside of them being injured, I have seen people go through very intense training in short periods of time. I've even done a version of that myself at one point in my life.
What, after you got off a morphine addiction?
No, not after being really badly injured, almost killed. Actually, basically killed because she got shot and would have died without immediate emergency care.
Well, she didn't die because of the armor. That scene. By the way, yes, we do get confirmation that Cena's dead, which I
knew he was dead. Yeah.
Well, we knew he was dead, but Otter was like, maybe he's alive, and we're like, no.
The book, the second book leaves it a little bit vague. Like he could come back,
does not leave it vague. It looks like they're about to cut
bludgeoned him.
I know, but like how many supposed character quote unquote deaths have you seen in the past where it looks like, oh yeah, they're surely dead, but then they come back?
No, because this is a bad story, and good characters don't survive bad stories.
Also, Cena, I miss him, man. I actually liked him from the first.
He was one of the best characters.
I like Cena.
Noticing a trend here that all the characters that we really, really like die.
Yeah, Finnick dies. Ignored. The sister Primrose dies. Cena dies.
I was even starting to like
Joanna. And assumingly dies of sadness after the end of the book.
I was even starting to like Joanna, but Joanna gets ignored by the end.
Oh yeah. She and Hamish are basically like we never get an explanation for most of these people.
Except they get to go off.
All we get is Katniss being depressed and kind of starting to like her children at some point.
You're forgetting that Primrose's goat dies. We never find out what happened to it.
It died.
Yeah.
Bakers are known to regrow bones quickly. I know, especially after their first 30 dozen.
Right. She's just like, we couldn't find it. We found the dumb fucking cat, but we couldn't find the goat.
That stupid cat. I'm sorry.
Also, I'm going to say this. No cat is worth it. A dog might be worth it. A cat, no chance. No shot.
Well, she spends the vast majority of the series hating her cat, and then by the end, she kind of respects her cat a little bit.
Cuddles with the cat because they're both grieving that Prim is dead.
Oh, yeah, and her cat is screaming.
The cat.
I've heard cats scream, but not in grief.
Also, there's a lot of moping that goes on in this book, like a lot of moping. Yep. In fact, there was a fair amount of moping in book 2, but this one takes it to the next level.
It's a lot of moping.
You know, she got drunk that one time.
And Peter's like, "What are you doing?
Stop it, you fucking drunk bitch!"
Gets drunk one time.
Our survival depends on you. Either Hamish or I. Also, Hamish, you're a piece of crap. But Katniss, how dare you join them?
She gets drunk one time, and they're calling her an alcoholic afterwards.
That is one of my favorite scenes in Catching Fire, bro.
It's like it's like getting in a small car accident and then having your boyfriend your fake boyfriend come tell you you're a danger to society. You should be suspended.
Dude, I would have loved it if after, because she's on, becomes a morphing addict at the end, like before the end of the final chapter and shit. And then she gets off of it and weaned and withdrawals and shit. I just love if PETA showed up and said, "You fucking dirty junkie bitch."
I warned you.
Also, they stop coal mining and start farming. They have equipment.
Yeah.
But without the know-how, that doesn't mean anything.
Not
because it is Katniss, PETA, Hamish, Greasy Say.
Greasy Say.
Yeah. Whatever the fuck.
That's it. She's the equivalent of like Hatchet Face from Crybaby.
Yeah, and she's kind of a small character in all three, and then she's the one taking care of Katniss because she's kind of like lost.
Well, here's the thing: you got to have that you have to have the groundwork for the agriculture to be there. And just for example, here in Pennsylvania, most of 18th century going into the early 19th century, that's all what Western Pennsylvania was, agriculture. And then the coal mines came in, they found an added bonus and are like, oh, wow, we can dig all this ground up and use this for our current industry. And that went on for 100 years. And then when the industry died off, well, some people defaulted back to farming.
I suppose we could have just depended on the singing people from District 11.
Yeah, so there's 200 of District. Yeah. So 200 people from District 12 came back and are living. That's the whole community now. Also, we found out that the mayor and his daughter and his whole family died.
Wow.
Got smoked
at the end. Yeah, coal makes a great fertilizer. It makes farming easy. Duh. You know, with the scorched fields and everything. Nothing living.
Oh, yeah, not to mention that District 12 was completely just destroyed, so...
Also, don't ask me why, but I picture Gale, because he worked in the mines for pretty much the entirety of the second book. I imagine him like, what's his face? Zoolander in that movie while going in there.
Well, he lives in District 2 now.
For reasons.
Really?
Yes, he lives to District 2.
I killed your sister.
Why does he go to District 2? Yeah, they traveled there for one chapter. Yeah, that's about it.
Katniss got shot. It was worth it.
And Katniss's piece of shit mother abandons her.
Yes.
Yeah, her mom no longer depressed. But
Katniss, you go back to District 12. I'm going over here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with your ex-boyfriend who killed your sister, and we're going to fix this country and leave you to rot.
We're going to make a new life. Bye, Katniss.
I wish Gale and her mom got married in the end of the story. Just as one final FU. Holy crap. Also, good character, but also a terrible person. Can we all agree Katniss is just kind of a bad person for the most part?
Well, how did they rekindle their romance too? That none of that gets built up as well. It kind of just fucking dies.
No, Peeta still has to like grip the chair while he looks at her sometimes.
I mean, he does kind of like soften up near the end of the book, but it's still there.
And then he says it's the PTSD, but we really know it's like, oh, this is what it's like 24/7 with this bitch.
Oh. Also, it's like, yeah, he finally nagged me long enough. I guess I'll have some fucking kids.
Oh, yeah, her line is, in the epilogue, it's 5, 10, 15 years to finally, or something like that.
He finally convinced me. What a healthy fucking relationship.
All the relationships in this book series are healthy, of course.
Also, but that
Stormcrow, hold on, Stormcrow says, I'm surprised Katniss didn't become a mass shooter by the end of the... did you not read the end of the book? She kind of did. She
kind of does.
She shot her bows
at mass boot.
There's at a lot of hovercraft.
But anyways, that time doesn't even make sense. I guess that was supposed to be symbolic that it took 15 years because her children... That makes no sense. She would have been like 35 at the end of it.
Yeah, she would have been pretty old at that point. And I'm not really...
Yeah, some are close to 30, yeah. Or like 40, more like
If it took her 15 years, she's 17, she'd been 35 when she finally got knocked up.
It's not impossible, but you're waiting a little while.
But here's the thing, her daughter's like fucking 6 or 7.
Yeah, then she's 40 at that point.
So she's like 40, but that makes no sense.
We talk about the closet scene now.
Yes, in the closet scene. Katniss, her sister gets blown the fuck up, and then she decides. How can you
say that so nonchalantly?
I know.
Anyways, Katniss's sister gets blown up.
She gets turned into
little duck. Powder. Little duck doesn't make it. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Little duck dies so big duck can live.
Little duck is not coming for Christmas.
She also gets her spring. So she got burnt. Everything got burnt, but her face. That's about it.
What a face to survive it. I don't know if it would have done much worse. No.
So they graft skin onto her, and then she's like trying to figure out ways to heal herself, and then
she's like ripping apart her new tissue paper skin.
Yeah, and
trying
this
to
takes.
find.
And by the way, this takes place over like a month, maybe something like that. But eventually, she finds a fucking closet with silk shit, and then gets in there, and then the guards find her like fucking jumped out of the damn thing, just laying on the ground because she almost killed herself with blankets.
Just about. And then she accidentally finds Snow in public, guarded by 2 fucking people. All right. Sorry.
Yes, in his garden with his roses, and then she wants to go in there because she's like, something's in there.
He's like, no, Katniss, you don't understand. It's been real suffering. They only allow me 3 massages every day.
Also, can we touch on the fact that President Snow dies from laughing himself to death?
Yeah, and also an entire.
Oh, he was being beaten actively by a crowd of
by
angry
the whole country at Pan Am.
So the whole point of that was supposed to be that he's living in luxury even as a prisoner because Coin was wanting to set a precedent. Coin's like,
rumor has it people may want to do this to me at some point.
Hold up, you got to say that with cross-eyed. You got to go cross-eyed.
Oh, hey guys.
Anyway, so
I gotta bounce out of here. I'm sorry. I've got to go.
How dare you?
No, you're
good.
I love you, Snow. I'm just also, Snow, I don't normally swear in front of women, so I do apologize.
You did very well.
He just really doesn't like this book.
No, it isn't for your female ears to hear.
Yeah, I will say this as a parting thing. I see this. I see a lot of comparison to probably the Dark Tower. I think that the Dark
Tower. What a weird comparison.
No, I'm saying in a way, in terms of how people, they got this build up and they read the books, and then that let down at the end. I think that's kind of how I see that from the, because people are like, oh, here's the story of the Roland and everything. And then you have this situation where suddenly it feels like, what happened here? What happened at the end? And I think that's kind of what happened with a lot of people when they were looking for it, waiting for it to pay off in a certain way that they're expecting, and they didn't get it. And I think that's probably
what we were promised.
The biggest.
It's not just what we were expecting; it was what we were promised in the second book.
Yeah.
Well, remember he had to die and become God in order to finish that series.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and so I really think that
She lagging really bad.
Yes. No, we lost part of what you just said.
You promised. I think that if you started the series and you just actually quit right at book 2, you'd probably go, hey, this is a pretty decent series. It's because of that payoff that we were looking for and we didn't quite get it at the end. I think that really sort of sticks with me. Other than that, it's not a terrible series. I think it's just not. That feeling that I wanted something different.
If I didn't like the first 2 books, I couldn't be disappointed by the third.
That's right. There you go. So I hope somebody says that about mine. That's now I'm going to be worried. Like,
no, Snow, no one's going to be disappointed by your books. I've read part of book 2 and I love the first one. So anyway, I may be speaking too soon. There are a lot of books in the series.
I read part of book 2. I love the first one. Yeah, there are tons of them, so I'm praying to God it'll be okay. No, I love you for it. Thank you,
sweetheart.
You're
good too. It's crazy train.
Y'all be good.
Also, Snow, I've decided. Snow, you've been chosen.
What?
I'm gonna, if you're willing, I would love to have you on Iron Age Legends after I finish reading your second book.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I hope you like the second book. Well, I love the first one. I'm reading the second.
I'm gonna go in there. I'll be honest, I was pretty disappointed.
Shut up. That's great.
Actually, no, Otter's finished it. So, but yeah, no, I'd love to have you on. I'd love to promote your stuff and have a good, proper conversation with you. With that, I'd like to have a conversation with you without Billy Bob giving bad Harry Potter takes.
I love what Billy Bob does, and he's perfect in every way. So.
He's allowed to have a wrong opinion.
That's going too far. We're all God's children, just some of us are a little different.
Reread Harry Potter. We're both.
I've reread part of it recently.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to reread it again.
Guys.
And I'm gonna specifically
run. Get out the back door. Hurry.
Good night, RH Snow.
That battle.
Run while you can.
Nothing happens at the end of Harry Potter book. He doesn't kill a fucking snake with a sword. Nothing happens.
Oh,
no. See, you're fucking lying. What I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, but you're just still fucking wrong.
By the way, the final fight between Voldemort, they're literally talking.
He really is. He really is
The end of the book with Voldemort is exactly how it should have ended, Billy.
No, it's
I
not
will.
how it should
I
have
will
ended.
take you to the fucking mat on this one.
No. It's not how it should have ended. We got a bigger fight between fucking Dumbledore and him in the 5th one.
Yeah, that was proper. That's how it should have been.
No.
Voldemort. That's the whole point. The whole books, the entire book series, people are treating Voldemort like he's not even a person. But the point at the end was he was just a bad man who made bad choices, and he dies. He dies like any other person. That's the point. Autistic Squeaky, shut the fuck up, Otter.
Listen, you motherfucker. That's such a stupid.
Shit.
No one cares that he just falls over dead. That's
yes,
fine. I don't care. He doesn't
does.
have to evaporate.
His own spell kills him. His own fucking spell kills him. That's the perfect way for him to die.
No, it isn't. It's so stupid.
You're so god awful fucking wrong, Billy. How can a man so based be so fucked in the ass by a donkey wrong in this case?
I swear to God, when we reread this shit, I'm gonna take a picture of every one of the fucking major conflicts.
Fine, Billy, let's talk about something we agree with. Fourth Wing is gonna be a shit show, right?
Yes.
Well, if this is any indication, yes.
But it's not going to be as bad as, or no, it's going to be as bad.
We can continue this fight with Fourth Wing.
It's going to be far worse. What are you even talking about?
The Fourth Wing is going to be worse than Mockingjay.
Oh, it's going to be so much worse.
We're going to be wishing for this. We're going to be
I
wishing
didn't even
for
have to say the word.
We're going to be remembering Katniss getting shot in the head fondly by the time we're done with the Fourth Wing.
I remember.
That's us. You want to join for the Fourth Wing review? We're gonna read it here soon, and we'll pick a date and we'll do it on my channel.
Is he volunteering as tribute?
Are you volunteering to read that trash?
All right, Bad Sauce. I've got a question.
Covered electrical bad book. I haven't read it yet. Maybe it's not as bad as I anticipate.
Okay, we're gonna give our final thoughts on Mockingjay, and then after we do that, we're gonna have Christian grab his fucking Fourth Wing book and read a part of it.
I'll look it up because I don't have my physical book here with me. Hold on.
All right.
We all need to have like little excerpts of the book that we read just to properly digest how bad it is.
Read out. Final thoughts on Mockingjay.
This was as bad.
Bad Sauce is already reading it because his wife is reading.
Wait, what?
No, women. A lot of women like this book. A lot of women like this book.
A lot of the reviews I've seen for this book are by women, and it's almost universally this is cringe and it is bad.
Also, if I ever have to read Mockingjay again, it will be with a drinking game. Take a shot every time. Well, Katniss gets shot.
Take a shot every time she wants to kill a cat. Take a shot every time she ends up in the hospital. You will end up in the hospital.
Take a shot every time she wants to kill herself.
Okay, fine. I have an excerpt from the Fourth Wing.
Well, hold up. Before we get to that,
no, we're gonna read that after we give our thoughts
final
on Mockingjay. So it is as bad as I remember it when I last picked it up over a decade ago. My God, we just went on a free fall. We hit the ground, the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
I almost never swear when I'm streaming, no matter whether it's my channel or not.
It's okay. You're on the Heterochromedia podcast. Have you heard how much we say some of the stuff we say here?
Have you seen My Immortal?
You're fine.
Anyway,
yes.
I may need to send you guys the clip from the show yesterday. Abomination AJ went from racism to arousal in about 0.5 seconds of halfway through a comic.
Oh, God.
Otter.
This book is a war crime.
Wow. What type of war crime is this? Sealing your enemy up inside of a mountain with no escape, or is this bombing a bunch of children?
Let's compare it.
Bombing your own country's children, maybe that.
Let's compare it to you're being reunited with a friend you haven't seen in a long time, and you see them smiling, and they're coming towards you, arms outstretched. You smile as their hands
there's an intensity in their eyes, but you don't really know what it is.
It is that kind of war crime.
They're caressing your face. You think?
Why are they around my throat?
Christian.
Okay, hold on. All right.
All right, you blew everyone's eardrums out.
That's my final thought on Mockingjay. I will never read this piece of literary shit ever again.
Are you saying something, Kahuna? I can't hear anything.
He has the same level of prose as the second book, but the fucking story is boring as hell. Nothing happens in it. Katniss actually gets a happy ending somehow. That's about it. Now on to Fourth Wing, our preview for our next stream one day.
Let me bring this shit up. I think I need to wear glasses for this garbage. Hold on.
You have to wear glasses.
I just trust me. Okay, let's see.
Do you need to paint your hair pink and put it in a side shave?
I have a side shave, so I'm halfway there. All right. All right, let's see. Welcome to your first battlefield brief, Professor Devira says. What is this name? Says from the recessed floor of the enormous lecture hall later in the morning. A bright purple flame section patch on her shoulder, matching her short hair perfectly.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, no.
Fucking kidding.
This is the only class held in a circular, tiered room that curves the entire end of the academic hall, and one of only 2 rooms in the Citadel capable of fitting every cadet. Every creaky wooden seat is full, and the senior third years are standing against the walls behind us. But we all fit. It's a far cry from history of. Wait, what? It's a far cry from history last hour. What? What is that sentence?
That don't make no sense.
Thank you.
Hold up. Before you continue, Maji said, "I'm going to put my sausage in my mouth and not say anything."
What? Wait. Let me do it.
Poor choice of words.
I'm gonna put my sausage in my mouth and not say anything.
Anyway,
that's right, Mr. Hat.
Oh.
All right, back to Fourth Wing.
She takes her time, making eye contact with every first year she sees. The rank on her shoulder says captain, but I know she'll be a major before she leaves her rotation teaching here. Wait, you can go up in rank by teaching people?
That's not how that works. Okay, anyways.
Oh, given the medals pinned to her large chest. You need to understand politics of our enemies, the strategies of defending our outposts from constant attack, and to have a thorough knowledge of both recent and current battles. Wait, both recent and current battles. All right. If you cannot grasp these basic topics, then you have no business being on the back of a dragon. She arches her black brow and a few shades darker than her. She arches a black brow a few shades darker than her deep brown skin. Oh, wait, that's how she is? All right, let me reread that last line.
What?
You need to understand the politics of our enemies, the strategies of defending our outposts from constant attack, and have a thorough knowledge of recent and current battles. You cannot grasp these basic topics, then you have no business on the back of a big-ass dragon.
I'm the chosen one, yo.
Faux show.
No pressure, Rhiannon mutters at my side, furiously taking notes.
God, it sounds like my
We'll be fine. I promise her in a whisper. Oh, wait. Rhiannon's a girl. Never mind. No pressure. We'll be fine. I promise her in a whisper. 3 years have only been sent to Midland Post as reinforcements, never the front. I keep my ears open around my mother enough to know that much. What? This is the only class you will have every day, because it's the only class that will matter once you're called into service early. Professor Devira's gaze sweeps from left to right and pauses on me. Her eyes flare wide for a heartbeat. Then she gives an approving smile and a nod before moving on. What is this fucking flirting?
Fuck.
Yes.
Because this class is taught every day and relies on the most current information, you will have to answer to Professor Markham, who deserves nothing but your utmost respect. Hoorah! I can't read anymore, guys.
All right, that's an excerpt from a preview for our fourth wing.
Clearly grade A material.
It's 500 pages.
It is longer than all of the Hunger Games books.
Together?
No, individually.
Okay.
So for any of you all out there who are really doubtful about your own writing ability, take a gander at Fourth Wing and watch your doubts disappear.
It is one of the most pushed mainstream fantasy books I've seen in a while. They don't need to push Sanderson. He pushes himself like a boss.
Dude, I'm gonna be
having individual.
I'm gonna be doing the walk of shame when I have to go to my library because I'm not fucking buying this book.
Also, guys, me and Billy Bob read portions of this book the other night on BC when it was just us after Otter had to go to bed.
This was after the second stream, and we stayed up till like 3 a.m.
We skipped to different parts of the book. Like 4 out of 5 of them had a sexual context were sexual in nature. And very uncomfortable and cringe.
And modern cursing. Like the actual modern,
oh no,
type of cursing in it.
And then he touched my nipples.
And I said, fuck you, bitch.
I'm pretty sure that was a lie.
What is thy name? Fuck you.
Herman says you could always listen to the audio. Do I want to listen to somebody talk about this book?
No, he has to read it. He has to actually read it.
Also, Herman, I'd have to buy it again. There's no way. I haven't actually purchased this book yet. It was a gift. I can proudly say I've never purchased this book.
This is true.
This is gonna be fucking funny stream.
Oh no, Stormcrow, why are you suggesting that?
You know it's gonna be age restricted too.
I could read it like Gilbert Gottfried. What's a butt plug? 50 Shades of Grey.
Hold
up,
it's a plug
for your butt.
The clip we started this stream out with, we probably should have saved that for Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Redoubt, it's been a blast, man. Thanks for having us on to talk about this gem.
Yeah, I don't know how this started, but we finished it.
Otter finished all right. Probably during that scene with the cheetah chick or tiger chick.
Yeah, the tiger. By the way, we have
Excuse me while I throw rocks at you.
Well, there's a funny story involving her
I'm
and
a bit of a
something
sadist.
snakes, but I'm not here to talk about something snakes.
I'm not Redoubt. I am not reading something snakes. I'm telling you right now.
All right, we ready for parting plugs?
Yeah, let's plug.
Like Otter's favorite thing.
Otter can't wait to pull his out.
BillyBobSac, I'll give you the honor of parting out your plug first.
Did you say you'd give him the
honor
honor
me on
of pulling out?
on Substack.com.
Yes.
And at YouTube.com on.
Actually, more like.
What is happening?
It's very uncomfortable.
Link in the description for only gremlins. It's down in the description below.
Herman, why do you have 12 credits on Audible? Aren't you grabbing books? I run out as soon as I get them, man.
Don't you get them from every purchase or whatever on Amazon?
No.
That's what that point thing is, isn't it?
No, not at all.
What is the point thing then?
That's something else.
It
can get you discounts on occasion. That's about it. But Audible has its own system. You sign up for like Premium Plus, and it'll give you like one credit every month, and then you get access to their free catalog with thousands of books. And you can also buy more credits after that as well.
We're not sponsored by Audible, by the way.
We aren't. And I do have books on Chirp, which is better for customers and authors.
Well, Christian, why don't you go ahead and do your part and plug? Pull it right out, nice and loud.
There we go. All right.
Oh, Maji said it sounds plugged enough. You should know. He has a lot of experience on that, you know.
Maji, I told you not to tell people. Anyway. So yeah, guys, I'm the ultimate Kahuna on YouTube and on Twix. I cover all sorts of content, everything from anime judgment streams, reading streams, gaming, skits, interviews, and more. Welcome to the Ultimate Kahuna. Woo!
Now, Lord Otter, why don't you take out both of those plugs? You know, you were doubling up. Take it.
I'm an otter. These are my plugs. Well, let's see. First off, I have a Swords and Sorcery novella that you can find on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and all the major retailers, called The Curse of the Star Raids. It's a tale about brotherhood.
Wait, did you say Curse of the Star Aids? Is that what you?
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying.
I'm sorry, I'm done fucking with you.
It's Curse of the Star Raids, first in the Steel and Stormbright saga. I've also got my review blog, Downstream Pulp, where you can find the latest reviews, poetry, short stories, all the good stuff.
And his book is actually worth your fucking time. It's a great pulp-style fantasy book.
Thank you.
And Redoubt, our host.
Wow, I don't normally frequent this side of the YouTube. It's nice getting to come over to the Heterochrome Media podcast. It's been a while, but my main channel
not very hetero right now, boy.
Yeah, Otter really fucked that up.
Go to Redoubt Productions. Go watch me hike 2.5
plugs,
miles
you know?
back to see the first American Railroad Tunnel. That's what came out yesterday on the Redoubt Productions channel.
Redoubt, I have a great idea. Let's cover historical plugs. I want to learn. I'm ready to learn about history.
Oh, you're saying it wasn't a tunnel before came out, right?
It was not, and then a bunch of men with axes dug through on both sides. I'm gonna put the logo up now.
They went in there with both hands, sweat on their brow,
really did.
and a song on their
Really
heart.
did.
Oh, digging into the anyway.
Digging in
Wow.
that hole. Oh,
This is
digging
how
in
we're
that
ending
hole.
the Hunger Games trilogy. Wow.
Yeah, that's the conclusion.
It really is the end. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We're fading out for the night. We will see you sometime down the line.
Squeak, squeak, plug.
Plug.
What was that?
We're going.
Why is it